I'm following your lead, I'm following this feeling. I'm conquering this fear, I'm busting through the ceiling. I'm following your lead, I'm following this feeling. I'm conquering this fear, I'm busting through the ceiling. I'm following your lead, I'm following this feeling. I'm conquering this fear, I'm busting through the ceiling. I'm following your lead, I'm following this feeling. Conquering this fear, I'm busting through the ceiling. Busting through the ceiling, busting through the
Hello everyone and welcome. This is your boy Ryan and today I am back with a new video for the Path of Exiles Scourge League 3.16. I was so excited for this league, but due to some real life issues I couldn't league start on day 1, and moreover I had to start like 2 weeks later into the league. So league start went really terrible for me and I was struggling to make any kind of money for a long time. Then, fortunately, I got the new shield square from a Gwen gamble, and that pretty much kickstarted my league starter golem build. I will make a video on that later though, since I am still working on it and tweaking some things on that. Today, however, I wanted to bring the Magic Find Deadeye character that has been insanely popular recently. I never played a MF character before, so I wanted to give this a try, and boy was this a success. With a mere 5 Exalt investment, I haven't even started doing any juiced content and only at level 85. When I finished Act 10 and I was level 65, afterwards I was doing only T3 and T5 maps in Valdo's Rest, trying to get more tower maps collected so I could use them later. I was running them with transmutation orbs, so they were really no investment on the mapping, and I did about like 30 to 35 maps in total. And I got around 4x as raw currency, and then some items that I sold for like 2 exalts. And then also I got some maps that I scourged them up to tier 10 and they sold for like 2x each. So I made about 10 exalts from a total of 35 maps. That is insane money. That is more money that I invested into the build itself. So all the currency that I invested in it is already back, and this build is amazing, not gonna lie. So if you're struggling to make money and fund your other characters, by no means, this is not a boss killer or a content clear, but it will make your money for your other builds that are gonna be clearing the whole game. So this is by just farming low tier maps, which are extremely easy on this character. You're gonna be farming insane amount of currency. Just like, this is absolutely ridiculous how good this build is. So I hope you give this build a try, and this is gonna be the first time I'm gonna make a video on money making, which I generally am very bad at, but this build makes up for it. So I hope you enjoy the build and the guide, and make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more POE related content. And now on with the guide on this Magic Find character. Okay, now let's talk about the Magic Find character itself a bit. So this character is completely based off of unique items only, because we want to increase the amount of loot that drops from monsters, and which is influenced by increased item quantity on our gears. And this stat can only be acquired from unique gears. So most of our gears are unique, and thus we have very little defense on the character. and also low damage as well. So it cannot go on higher tier maps without like a headhunter or inspired learnings. So we are going to be farming mostly low tier maps to get our currencies. In terms of gears, Magic Find gear is expensive at the moment, but you can have alternative choices on it. Some are not so alternative and you have to get some core items though. In total, I presume you will need around 5 Exalt to start the build, and then you can work your way from there. So I will be giving you the Magic Find gears list as well and some alternatives as well. And also I will give you 3 POBs, one with no cluster setup, one with 1 cluster setup for more damage, and then a juiced up 2 inspired learning version POB that will be the final version that you're gonna strive for in order to farm very juiced T6 tower maps. We choose tower maps for farming because it drops the nurse cards, and also the layout on tower is extremely good for scourging, which is going to be the main way we are going to make currencies. Some other maps that you can run are Ghetto map. This map drops the Saint's Treasure card, which is a lot of exalts, because if you farm like 20 Ghetto maps, you're going to be sitting on like 2 sets of the Saint's Treasure, which is like 4 exalted orbs. And then Cemetery map is good. It also drops Brother's Stash card. What else do we have in terms of maps? Lair is good because it's a long map that is also straight, so you have more opportunities for scourging. And that's about it. So there aren't that many maps to farm other than this. Strand is not really that great because it's straightforward, but it's also very wide, so mobs are going to be scattered a lot and you want them to clump up a lot. And your clear is insane on this build, so the straight maps with small territory is good. Wharf is a good map as well, but it doesn't have any distinguished drops from it. So number 1 choice is tower, then ghetto, and then finally cemetery. Okay. Other than that, you're going to be juicing up with Nemesis and Beyond. Nemesis you should roll on your maps with Alteration, and then Beyond from your map device. And you should be running on Awakener 8 as well with some rolled Watchstones that I will talk about later in a bit. But first, let's go over the gears real quick. So let's start off with the bow. Wind Ripper. This is gonna be the bow of choice for our Magic Find character because it has the 15% increased quantity of items dropped from slain frozen enemies. We freeze everything with our cold damage. We use Herald of Ice to shatter. So we are gonna get this bonus of increased quantity very consistently on our build. If you don't have the budget for a Wind Ripper, which is currently around 1 to 1.5x a piece, I think it might go up as well. I bought this for 1x, I believe. I think I was lucky though. When you are buying Wind Ripper, pay attention to the attack speed roll. You should buy with at least 14% increased attack speed. Also, there are lots of Wind Rippers on the market that have crangled mods that deal no cold damage with Scourge, and also other things like cannot deal critical damage or cannot critical strike, and really avoid those bows because they are gonna be very, very bad for our build because you will not be doing any damage with it. So if you don't have enough money for Wind Ripper, an alternative source would be to go for something like a Death's Harp or a Death's Opus. This gives bow attacks fire an additional arrow. The upgraded version, Death's Opus, will give bow attacks fire 2 additional arrow, which will boost the clear very, very well. So until you have a Wind Ripper, you might get this. A 6-link Death's Opus is not very expensive. I think it was like 60 to 80 chaos. So it's like half the budget of a Wind Ripper. So you can go for that first. I was using Death's Harp for a long time during leveling as well as some mapping until I got some money and got the Wind Reaper as well. So I am currently using it to level some other gems in this alternative slot. Okay, then next up is the Quiver. This is gonna be the Void Fletcher. This is a core item. This is your DPS item. This is gonna carry you build throughout all of your mapping, bossing, everything. As I said before in my past bow build, Void Fletcher is an amazing quiver. The Void Shot ability just goes to town with its insane amount of damage and burst potential. Because in our build we do not invest in any kinds of damage, this is gonna be very, very mandatory. This Void Fletcher quiver is currently, I think it goes for 1.5 to 2x. So this is very expensive. This is a bit expensive part of the build, but if you don't have it or you can't afford it for now, a Heidi's Demise quiver would be good as well, which is half the cost again. It's like 1x for a Heidi's Demise. So try to get a Void Fletcher as fast as you can. Also, about the 6-link, you only need 1 to get started. So I think getting the body armor with 6-link would be the cheaper option than the bow, because a Wind Reaper 6-link starts from like 4 Exalts, I think. So better go with the body armor on the 6-link. On the subject of body armor though, Heidi's Ire is going to be the main choice here because of its sheer damage output that it can provide. We have so little source of damage that we need as much as we can. Void Shot and Heidi's Ire will be the source of damage for us because the added cold damage to bow attacks is insane. This body armor is so strong. Also, it provides like 3000 evasion rating on this. You can go for something like a, I think it was Greed's Embrace. That body armor is also good. If you have your resistances capped, you can go for Greed's Embrace, but I think High Desire is just a better choice. For our helmet, I'm running with Gold Rim. I like Gold Rim because it caps my resistances really comfortably. If you don't want to run a Gold Rim, you want to go fast, you can go for a Devoto's Devotion, or you can go Stakonja for a bit more defense, although I don't think it's going to matter that much because this character dies in 1 hit anyways. Maybe 2 hits, but you're going to be dying a lot, but that's not the point here. But you just want to cap your resistances. Gold Rim is quite good. Try to get a Lightning Arrow enchant on it because that is our main skill for clearing. It's expensive. It's very expensive right now. So if you're not min-maxing, it's not necessary. For our amulet, Besco Scholar is extremely well. The 43% increased quantity of items dropped from slain normal enemies. This is amazing. This drops a lot of stuff. The loot drops increase from this is amazing. You can go with a, let's say, a rare amulet with lots of life resistance or damage, crit multi, whatever, but this is going to be the best thing that you can get. When you're buying this, try to get as much increased quantity of items. I think more than 40% is good. 50% Bescos is very, very expensive. So I would really recommend not going for it unless you have a lot of money to spare. And for the anointment, we want Graceful Assault for the onslaught and onslaught effect. So we move fast, attack fast, and everything else. For our gloves, Sadima's Touch. This is the only gloves with the increased quantity of items found mod on it. Try to get with a 10% increased quant, or try to get a 9% with curse enemies with some curse, like Elemental Weakness would be the best, but it's really expensive again. Temp Chains, defensive, really good. Enfeeble is okay as well. Other than that, attack crit corruption is strong and very expensive as well. But just get a 9%, at least 9% increased quantity Sadima's Touch. For our boots, Gold Rim, this is the only choice. Again, the only boot with increased quantity of items found mod on it. Try to get a 20% increased quant item boot. It's expensive with the 20%, but make a goal for it and get it when you have enough money. Also for the belt, it's going to be Besco's Leash for Rampage, Cold Res, and also quantity of items found again. For our rings, we have Thief's Torment. This is the cheap option with 16% quantity. Try to get all the resistances and quantity of items found as high roll as possible. I don't know what the price of this is, but this is 40C for the amulet. This was 20C for the gloves, and this was 40C for the boots. I got this belt from a friend. I don't know what the price of it. Let's check right now. It's like 14-15 chaos, so it's not that much either. So that is gonna be it for the items. Alternatively, I think if you want to min-max this build, you can go for some Ventor's Gambles that have really good rolls, or you can go for their Paria ring, which is expensive right now, so I am generally going to not use it for now until I get some more money to get invested into the build more. Also, Headhunter is going to be a upgrade for the belt, which is expensive, but if you have it, go for it. It's gonna allow you to farm T6 maps really easily. Okay, and that is gonna be it for most of the gears. Yeah, that's it. So let's go over the skills and gem links real quick. So for our main body armor 6 link, we're gonna socket lightning arrow on our 6 link. It's gonna be lightning arrow with chain support, and then GMP, added cold damage, hypothermia, and inspiration. You can also change hypothermia for elemental damage with attacks. That's gonna be fine as well. If you wanna go more invested into this and wanna use awaken gems, then instead of hypothermia, the awakened ele damage with attacks would be the better choice. For our second 6 link, or which is 5 link for now, it's gonna be our single target bossing. It's gonna be barrage support. It's gonna be cold pen. I got a awakened cold pen. It's not that expensive. It's like 20-30 chaos. And then added cold damage, elemental damage attacks, and inspiration support again. And the 6th link would be hypothermia, I believe. This 6th slot right now I am using dash, but I want to move it into another slot with second wind support, so for more movement. And that's gonna be the 6th link would be hypothermia or increased critical damage. For our other links, we have a cast and damage taken support with Immortal Fall, and then we also have a cast on death with Portal. Other than that, I'm using a summon lightning golem for more attack speed. And for our auras, I'm using Purity of Elements. This is to cap our resistances as well as getting ailment immunity. For our other auras, we have Grace, Val Grace. We only use the Val portion of the aura for extra defenses. And we also have Precision. I like to run it with level 21 for more accuracy rating. We also have Herald of Ice to chain explode everything on the map and link it with item rarity support. I did not know this, but item rarity support actually doesn't increase the mana cost or the mana reservation for the Herald of Ice. So it's like a free upgrade for our Herald of Ice because it kills enemies, and then we have item rarity support linked to it, which is a little boost, and anything helps on the build. For our flask, I have a light flask with corrupted blood immunity, a quicksilver flask. I just rolled it with movement speed and chance to gain a flask charge when you deal a critical strike. We deal critical strikes a lot, so it's gonna be up most of the time with this mod up. I think you want the movement speed on it, so if you have more alterations, just go for it, roll for it. It doesn't matter. The other flask, I automated them with a diamond flask. This is gonna be with increased duration and attack speed. I think you can roll any modifier on it. You can even craft your critical strike chance modifier on it, but I use this with the instilling orb modifier with the hit when when I hit a rare or unique enemy. So I have it for tougher monsters up. And then I have a Jade Flask with more evasion rating and increased evasion rating during flask effect. Instilling Orbit with when an adjacent flask is used. So whenever I press Diamond Flask, or whenever the Diamond Flask gets triggered by hitting a rare or unique enemy, this one also gets automatically activated, and because of that, this one, a Gold Flask, is also automatically activated. So you want increased duration on these two flasks as well. I got reduced charges per use. It's fine for me, but you really want increased duration on the Gold Flask, which is going to be the last one. You can roll any modifier on it, like increased evasion, increased arm, increased evasion, or attack damage least as life. Anything can help. Even critical strike chance can help as well. So that's most of the flask. No other unique flask is being used in the build. So that's going to be it for the links. I'm going to give you a detailed link, more detailed link for the build in the POB as well, for the gems, that is. And then let's go take a look at the passive tree for real quick. We are going to be a Deadeye Ranger Ascendancy for our Ascendancy choices. The first one, I think you should go for Gathering Winds on the first one. Then second lab is First Shot. The last third is going to be Endless Munition for the extra 2 projectiles. And then lastly, Ricochet for the extra chain. We also use a chain support on our main link. This combined with the Ricochet can clear maps and mock packs like there is no tomorrow. This is extremely good, and you should also be using it. For the passive tree, this is what my passive tree looks like right now. I start off from the Ranger area and then go up into the Assassin area for attributes and critical strike chance, crit multi, and some physical damage here. And then I also grab the aura nodes for reservation reduction, so I can run all the auras. I'm trying to get this on the next level up for more evasion rating and, of course, maximum life. This node here for the elemental penetration, which is really good. Then we come on the downside, we grab all the elemental damage nodes, the bow nodes here, and the projectile nodes here, all the big bow nodes here. I use a intuitive leap here to get all the other passive nodes over here. The life, accuracy, crit multi, more resistances, increased evasion rating, and this one for movement speed and crit chance. And of course, the frenzy charge is extra and it's nice. Spell suppression here, this is not needed. You can also grab spell suppression here with 2 points and get the mastery, and then you don't need to get it, but it helps. More defenses never hurt. And also on the top side, the right side of the shadow area is really good for a Lionized Fall now. So you can grab all the dagger nodes, all the claw nodes, and also get the masteries over here. These 3 points are extremely good. They give you chaos res and also give you elemental res as well from the mastery. Some life nodes and blood drinker. This one will recover life when we are mapping. And also getting the plus 50 maximum life on the mastery is quite helpful. If you have extra points, you can go for another frenzy charge as well. Let's talk about the masteries real quick. These mastery system is quite good for some builds. In this build, we use a lot of masteries as well. So starting from the bottom side on the cold mastery, we have chance to gain a frenzy charge when you shatter an enemy. This resolves our frenzy gain. And then we have projectile mastery. I took this 20% increased damage for each time they have chained. So the more chains our lightning arrow does, the better the damage on the other target. So it clears from your starting point into the later locations in a very, very smooth manner, which also synergizes quite well with long shot here on this tree. We grab the bow node here and we get another projectile mastery with more projectile speed, which is faster map clear. For the elemental mastery, we have 15% to all ele res. With the next elemental mastery over here, I want to take the reduced reflected damage taken and then Ugul Pantheon, combine that, and you are ele reflect immune. So you can run ele reflect immunity maps, ele reflect maps. For our spell suppression mastery, I took the critical strike chance is increased by chance to suppress spell damage. We have a lot of spell suppression in the build. We have like 60% spell suppression, so we get some critical strike chance from there. I don't know what's the scaling to this, but it helps, I guess. Okay, 50% of damage from suppressed hit. Oh no, it's not. It's just these. Oh, okay, so they don't say how much is the increase, but it helps, I guess. For the bow mastery, chance to gain phasing on 4 seconds on kill. This is nice to have, so we don't have to run a quartz flask anymore. Also, quick note, this node, Primal Spirit, here will give you 20 strength and intelligence, and this is enough to cap all of your attribute needs in the build if you are running with this tree. Otherwise, we're going to have to get attributes on a different source. For our life mastery, I said it's 50 max life. And for the resistance and ailment protection mastery, we get elemental and chaos stress. For our dagger mastery, we go with crits have culling strike, so we have some culling strike in the build. And then claw mastery is life and mana gain with each hit of attack, which is really nice for sustaining mana if we don't use, let's say, Thief's Torment later on in the build, that is. For our anointments, we want Graceful Assault. This one gives us Onslaught, more Onslaught effect, and increased armor and evasion during Onslaught. If you have a spare point, you can take the 15% increased mana reservation efficiency of skills in here and free up more mana, then run a Defiance banner if you have a slot, and then you can have some more evasion and armor rating from that. Also, it's a good banner skill to have defensively, that is. So that's more mostly about the tree, passive tree and everything. But if you have more money, I will leave you POBs for the inspired learning version and a more cluster setup on the build. I actually plan to go for the inspired learning version after I get some more currency, but that's gonna be for another build if I go make it. So that is gonna be mostly it, and then I will give you a map showcase on how the build actually clears and looks during mapping. It's gonna be a tower map, T3. It's not juiced up. It's gonna be semi like Alp and of course beyond from the Zana map device, and we'll see what we get from that map. So I hope you enjoyed the build showcase, and I hope you enjoyed the guide. Make sure you leave a like and comment down your thoughts on the build and in general Magic Find gear on this league. League is great for Magic Find actually. So that's gonna be the end of the video, and I will see you guys next time. Peace!
I'm following your lead, I'm following this feeling. I'm conquering the spirit, I'm busting through the ceiling. I'm following your lead, I'm following this feeling. I'm conquering the spirit, I'm busting through the ceiling. I'm following your lead, I'm following this feeling. conquering the spirit.